Welcome to my Leo Palace apartment in Shimokitazawa. Let's go have a look on the deck. This is the washer here. It's good for 45 liters of water, so it's a pretty good sized washer. But when they gave it to me, it was used, and basically they're all used and everything, and they replaced it with another one. This is the replacement right here. But what happened, these are kind of my neighbors, you can hear through this window, you can hear these people screwing at night, so I don't know about that. But anyways, with the washer, you have to use a laundry net, because if you don't use the laundry net, what's going to happen is your clothes are going to get trashed. And also, when they first replaced this washer, I had to wash it out with washer cleaner twice, because whoever before had it was like washing all their dogs' clothes and dogs' wear and all that stuff. So this is on the windows here, basically, because the insulation is terrible. These windows are paper thin, and this takes up a good part of the apartment, so it gets colder than crap in the winter. In Leo Palace, too, there's also a standing joke, basically, like if one person is studying English, that everybody else's English will improve in the first year because the walls are so thin that you can hear people screwing. You can hear them, like, or earlier this morning I heard some people screwing, and then I started imitating them, and then they backed off. And then you can hear people running a small business of some kind. And I used to live in another Leo Palace out by where was it? It was out by out. It was out kind of north, Saitama. Yeah, near Saitama. And there, someone was running a small business. This guy was like ironing. I could smell cleaning fluid through the walls, and he was like ironing. I don't know. There was like a laundry thing, a laundromat down the street, so maybe he was working for them on a side job doing commission ironing suits, but he was like ironing suits all day long. And I know one person doesn't have that many suits, so anyways. So this is basically the aircon unit. I got this replaced. The other one was like 12 years old, and that's when they usually go out. So I got this replaced. They replaced that for free. That was really cool. I pay 700 for Shimokitazawa, which is kind of cheap, I guess. I don't know. I didn't research it too much, but it's pretty turnkey. It's easy to get into these apartments. Then there's a window up here for ventilation, if you want to ventilate. The doors didn't come with a screen, so you can buy a screen and put one in. If you don't put a screen in, you leave the doors open. There's tons of mosquitoes here, or caw, because the one of the neighbors on the other side at their houses has some kind of garden thing going on that way. So basically, here, I'll turn on the lights. So you can hear everybody's business through the walls. It's pretty standard in Japan. I guess that's why they have love hotels and all that, but probably the people here don't have enough money. They can't afford a love hotel. So I've heard all kinds of weird, strange stuff like S&M, and it sounds like drug dealing, but they're probably just making jewelry or something like that. This is a loft here. So somebody else can stay here, like friends that are visiting and all that stuff, but I don't have them come and visit all that often. The problem with the loft, the alteration that I did without infringing on the property, was I put in this board here, because you can see this is only this high, and then with the height of the futon right here, plus this, you only have like this much keeping you from rolling out of bed, and that's a serious drop, so you don't want to go there. Also, so what I did was I just zip tied these, and I got this plywood cut at a store, and so I made that more safe so I don't roll out of bed, or whoever rolls out of bed. This is a backup radiator heater. I got it because I was having problems with the aircon in the winter and everything, and it was getting really cold, so I had to do that. This comes with a lot of Leo Palaces here too. This is like a TV, and then you get what's called a life stick, and so I get the internet varies. Sometimes it's fairly quick, like 5 megabytes a second, and then other times it's slow, and then 15 megabytes a second on download. So let's see what else. Then I custom all these racks, everything you see. I've lived in earthquake country for years, so I was in the major earthquake 6 years ago in a house, and everything on the top shelf went on the floor. Everything on the second shelf and the front of the second shelf went on the floor. This is a different place, but anyways, so I always set up a place. You don't want to put your valuables up high, so you put like your towels, your paper towels, and all that stuff up high, things that you can afford to have fall on the ground. Then your more valuable things you want to put on lower shelves. I like working with shelves rather than furniture. I mean, they're not that appealing, but when you're dealing with small apartments like in Tokyo, it's easier to store stuff, basically. And if you have a place to live, that's what you're doing, is you're storing your stuff, your junk. So also the other nice thing about a rack is you can hang your laundry on it if you want, if it's raining outside. Dryers aren't real popular here. You can get them, but most people dry it in the sun, and why not? Saves electricity, the environment, all that good stuff. So this is one rack here, kind of set up, and then everything here is like this is zip tied, so it won't go over. Just has pins in it, no big deal. Then like laptop's right here. Don't want it much higher than that. You know, I probably should have it here. This is the bed. This came with the apartment right here. So the bed, the refrigerator, and then there's another refrigerator outside that they wouldn't let me throw out because they said the owner still wants it, but it went here. I got it on the deck. But basically I use this for this stuff here. Let's see what else. So this dresser I bought myself. It was like Ichiman from Eon, Aeon, and so it's a pretty good buy on that plastic. So that's cool. Then we got all these laundry poles. Normally you put these outside, but and you can't put them outside like today or whatever. But I set this all up inside so I can dry my laundry when it's raining. So it's been used for, like, if I'm in a hurry. See, that's another thing that people do. I don't know about, but like some neighbors, they will like keep dumping a ton of fabric softener on their clothes because they leave their clothes outside in the sun. And if you leave your clothes outside in the sun, it basically trashes them because you're basically blasting them with radiation. So it fades the colors, it trashes your laundry to leave it out in the sun too much. If you're on the side of the building where the clothes are in the shade, they're not going to get trashed as much. But the plus side about it is it bleaches and sterilizes your laundry if you want to do that. Here's a refrigerator. It's always running. It's always running. So I think it's had its heyday. It's past its prime and all that. These are like basic laundromats here. Other storage, winter blanket. So anyways, this closet, I got the place. They charged me a $300 cleaning fee, and the place wasn't clean. I had to clean it. I mean, I'm a little meticulous, but I'm not like really meticulous. So I had to clean. This is so I don't know the temperature inside, and then I have one outside so I know the temperature because I don't always trust the news and weather and all that. But back to the closet. I move in, and it frickin' smells like athlete's foot. It stinks. It still stinks like athlete's foot. I washed it down with bleach. I've tried the air fresheners and all that stuff, and nothing seems to work except for when I leave, I'll leave the closet open, and then when I come back, I'll aerate out the closet. So this is the kitchen. All it had was IH. All it has is IH here, which I don't particularly. I'm not a fan of IH. That's another story. That's a personal issue. Study the technology yourself. Come to your own decision on that. Um, it basically had all this stuff, and then I bought this shelf at Daiso Hakuen, but it's Hako Zero Hachi because of consumption tax. And then I set up the this right here, the freaking dish rack, so the water will go down into the sink right here. And then I bought this rack right here just to use the space. This was like an odd space right here, and I figured it was in the kitchen and all that. So storage under the sink. The fan's kind of funny. That's the fan. But if you do the light, there's a fan behind the wall of this, and they didn't disconnect it, so you can hear that fan running. I don't know if that's a fire hazard or not. Back on the shoes, the dip, whatever it was, that could have used this to store their shoes. See, this is built-in shoe storage. Why would they ruin the closet with the smell of athlete's foot? I don't know. Maybe they put their gym bag and their sweat shoes in the closet, but the smell won't leave. This rack here, I put in the freaking door right here and everything. And then this is a kind of a personal, some people want these separate. They want the toilet separate from the shower. And it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, if you're living with like a bunch of people where people are using both all the time, then I can see it. You don't want to smell stench when you're taking a shower, so I understand it. But if it's like just one or a few people, and also the nice thing about this bathroom is it cleans out really well. I mean, you can just use this, hose everything down with water, and you got. Then I swapped out the lights. These are LEDs. They didn't come with LEDs just to save electricity. And to save electricity, and that I could get LED bulbs from Daiso for like San Hakuen. So $3 basically US per bulb. So that's pretty cheap. So that's it. That's the Leo Palace in Shimokitazawa. And the walls are paper thin, and I'm kind of pissed off because I've had nothing but freaking noisy, obnoxious neighbors, and so I'm going to move out. But the thing is I signed a 2-year contract, and so I'm going to get screwed on my last month's rent. And they kind of lied to me, like they said, oh, if you break the contract, because I wanted to break it really early, like after 2 months. They said, oh, if you break the contract, it'll be $3,000, blah, 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 all this stuff. They were basically lying to me. And then I went into the office like a week ago, and I asked for the contract, and they said, oh, we don't have it. We're not sure if we have it on record and all that stuff. And then he saw I was wearing a wire, and then he printed it out really quickly and all that stuff. So that's basically it for my place in Leo Palace in Shimokitazawa. But it kind of sucks because I'm going to bail, and I'm going to lose a month's rent. So that's the punishment for bailing on the contract.